Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Single Malt Strings. We are here today with something very special. Oh, I haven't actually brought the bottle over. Let me go and grab the bottle quickly. So this is the Sunihama Jamma. It's like the McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Someone was hammering out some chords on the takamine.
Well, I thought about it, wrecked myself on that with it, and it all fell apart against the back of his car. Then forgot about it. I reversed over it.
It's got a working trigger.
Like he bought 2 containers full. They all fall apart.
1, 2,
Sunihama Jamma.
It's a very special Dartmoor Whisky. Comes straight off our backyard, this does.
Yeah, something to be proud of.
Very muchly so.
Yeah.
And we're definitely a good customer of theirs already.
Yeah,
But normally we have the Bordeaux cask, don't we?
yeah. But we want to do something a bit different. Yeah.
This is the first time that we're trying out the Bourbon cask, so you're getting a completely unbiased opinion on this one. So they do 3 different casks. They do the Bordeaux, which is old wine barrels, the Bourbon, which is obviously old whiskey barrels, and the sherry cask as well.
Yeah.
And I've tried both the sherry and the Bordeaux.
Yeah.
And I've had a very special Founders Reserve Bordeaux cask over Christmas, which I was going to save for one of these, but
It's difficult to save.
it was too tasty, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I should have really kept it because it would have been worth some money one day, but
This is the lightest of the lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Oh, nearly knocking over this antique.
that's what antiques are there for.
So it's the first time we taste this. Oh, very sweet. Very sweet.
Yeah, but it's not like we said before in our last one. It's not like an added
No,
sweetness.
no. This is kind of honey, marshmallow, that kind of sweetness. Very rich in flavor.
More like an almondy, marzipan-y.
Yeah, marzipan. That kind of fits well in. Yeah, it's not super complex, but then
They're still young whiskies, aren't they?
Yeah,
It's still
yeah,
a very young company, so
Yeah.
you can taste where the whiskey's going to go.
Yeah,
And that's what I
Yeah.
love about it, because not only is it on our doorstep, but you are still drinking a young whiskey here. So if you compare it to like an older, I mean, this is very comparable to most 12-year-olds, although it's not 12 years old yet. But like the older whiskies, if you go for a 24-year-old,
yeah,
that whole body is grown so
Yeah.
much more, and you can tell where this one is going.
Yeah.
And I reckon, once they got a bit of age on the clock, there's going to come out with some beautiful whiskey.
It is such a young company, but then, I mean, this is a really good product, and for us personally, this is a company to support.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
and like you said, it's clear where this is going.
Yeah, and it's only going in a good direction.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
one that I've tried
Yeah,
have been lovely.
yeah,
Especially for a young whiskey.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wish I'd saved that Founders Reserve bottle, because wow,
yeah, that was a bit different.
that was a bit different,
Yeah,
and it had
yeah,
a brilliant body to it.
Yeah.
So,
But it's a company based in Pocket Tracy. It's all local produce. So
they get local barley, don't
yeah,
they?
yeah, and old-fashioned malting methods and Dartmoor spring mortar, and then they got the master distiller, Frank McCarty. You know how they got him on board. He's quite a name in the whisky world. You know?
Yeah. Well, he's now been ordained into the Whisky Hall of Fame, hasn't he?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, you get someone like that on board, and I mean, it can only make your company go in all the right directions.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely brilliant, and that he's willing to be part of this. And
the stills that they're using are absolutely beautiful. I saw them on a Facebook post. I still haven't visited. I need to visit at some point, and they do have their little cafe or so now where you can go and drink like Dartmoor whiskey and cocktails made from Dartmoor whiskey. Yeah. But the still there is on show. It's an old cognac still which they've refurbished, and it just looks so beautiful.
Yeah, it's a still from halfway the 60s. Yeah. And it's been dormant for quite some time, and they've refurbished it and put it all back to life again. Yeah.
It's all in the glass, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can really taste that. Yeah. You know, it's not something that tastes kind of. You do get these younger startup companies, but the whiskies taste a bit surgical almost. Yeah. You know, a fresh still takes a long time to really bed in. Yeah. I feel I'm not a big whiskey, you know, a connoisseur in that sense. You know, you get sommeliers and stuff. I just love drinking. This is one of my drinks that I love drinking. But I'm sure, you know, there's something in an old still.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like reusing barrels, you know, sherry barrels and Bordeaux casks.
It's all being reused.
Yeah, to really impact flavours. Yeah. I'm sure it still has
colour.
Yeah.
That's presumably why this is such a light colour, because it's white oak. Well, American white oak.
I'm actually not sure, but I assume it probably would be white oak cask. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And I'm not sure whether they burn these barrels either, because I mean it's so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So light with a kind of amber hint to it. Yeah.
But it's definitely something to taste for yourself. Yeah. Very easy, be very careful, you know.
That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. We still have to go out tonight, so we have to go easy on this one tonight.
Yeah. And I just keep looking at these lovely glasses and how they got something in.
Yeah.
So,
Can you see that?
I'll put this up to the camera. So, I'm sorry, Dartmoor Whisky, we aren't using your nosing glasses, but there is a very good reason for that. So, last week, we have a dear friend and customer who came into the shop and purchased a guitar which was very close to our hearts. And it was more than just your average transaction, you know. Yeah. This was something that had a lot of heart to it. Yeah. And he decided, because he knew we liked our whiskies, to give us these glasses. So you will see more of those. You'll see more. Well, not more of those glasses, but you see them more times. Other episodes. Yeah. So these are crystal glasses. Yeah. And they're hand etched in Nigeria. Yeah. Hence the zebra and the lion. Yeah. And the beautiful trees and foliage around them. Yeah. And actually, the etching goes quite deep. So just the feel of the glass feels very tactile and beautiful to hold. Yeah. Don't want to keep rubbing my hands all over it, but I kind of want to. Yeah. It's nice to discuss whiskey and guitars. It seems a subject that is not related, but at the end of the day, it's all about the notes, you know? Yeah. So it is related, and skill of crafting and history, and so. I think just having two industries where everyone that seems to be involved in them is so passionate. Yeah. I know you get, the mass-produced whiskies these days, like you get the mass-produced guitars, but in the smaller, more independent, small distillers, small guitar shops like ourselves, you just get people who talk with so much passion. Yeah. and really love their craft for their craft. And that's something which, I love to support wherever I can.
Yeah, we talk often about handmade guitars, but then this is kind of handmade whiskey.
Oh yeah.
In a handmade glass, and
Dartmoor still do small batches.
Yeah.
So although they have their standard Bourbon cask, sherry cask, Bordeaux cask, they're all still small batch distills.
Yeah.
So they would obviously age them in the same cask. That's why they're called, hence the cask name. But they're all done in small batches.
Yeah. So this is a whiskey for the players and for the collectors.
Indeed. And for the people who just like to drink. So if you haven't tried it, definitely go out and get a bottle.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you can't try it from these glasses, but I just want to say many thanks to John.
Yeah.
He is such a lovely, lovely person, and just so humble.
Yeah. We need to go back to that story actually one more time.
Yeah.
Because this was a guitar that belonged to a collection of a good friend of ours, which was also a very humble man, very honest, fantastic player, and we used to look after his collection for quite a number of years.
Many years.
Yeah, and sadly he passed away, and then we got put in charge to look after his collection and find new owners for it. This was an old Spanish guitar, and it was a very special guitar. It didn't look like a lot, but it often goes like that with those guitars.
With especially the Masterbuild, Spanish instruments, if you don't know what to look for, you could walk past it and think it was anything.
Yeah.
And that's something that I love about them.
Yeah.
They're almost so understated, and it's only when you play them and pluck a note where it's like, oh, I'm holding something very special here. And they just build them with such thin woods. They really tread the line between the thing just falling apart and it being an instrument. And oh man, they just sound incredible.
It's like Formula One racing.
Yeah.
If you had a car as a daily driver, it'd be broken every day, But can I mention what kind of guitar it was?
Yeah, you can mention the guitar. Yeah.
Antonio Marin Montero. You remember how old the guitar was?
It was 1982 from memory.
Yeah, something like that.
And it was the first generation.
Yeah.
It was the father who made it, because they're on to, I think, the third generation now.
Yeah.
It was one of the later ones from the father.
Yeah.
And
in the Brazilian rosewood.
Brazilian rosewood. Yeah.
So guitars like that rarely ever come on the market. If they come on the market, they're only being passed on either by people who know about it and they're going to be the next caretaker of that guitar, or by very specialist dealers. And because we knew the previous owner of the guitar, so we had great heart for him, so we had to find not the right money, but the right person.
Yeah.
And we didn't advertise the guitar because we were hanging in there just to find the right person for this guitar. And I think we found that person. I mean, John is a similar kind of character, humble, honest, and he understood the guitar. And that is actually the main thing, because this guitar could have landed in a collection and just
been sat there,
die, and lose its voice. Just the fact that we had it for a while was already enough for it to kind of lose its voice, And now it's going to be played every day again. It's going to be used rather than
used in the right way as well, because it's not a guitar. Like I said before, these guitars are built pretty delicately. It's not a guitar to go out and hammer at a gig, flamenco style or anything like that.
No.
This is one John also liked his whiskies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no doubt, peacefully sit in the evening, pour yourself a whiskey,
Yeah.
and just kind of meditate away into the tone of the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because that's how he used to play it.
Yeah.
The gentleman who originally owned it. And I believe that it's going to a very similar gentleman.
Yeah.
So
it's a guitar of the heart,
Yeah.
Every time I played it, it just touched me so deeply. And how, we can talk about this guitar forever. It was just absolutely stunning piece of craftsmanship.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was one of those, as soon as you pluck a note, you kind of go into your own little world. And that was half the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So,
anyhow, from kind of a sad story to a nice happy ending, we wanted to make tonight a bit more a lighter version.
Yeah.
And not make it all too technical.
I think our first Single Malt Strings episode was great, and I love Frank's work. Frank, he makes a brilliant guitar, but it was very one-track minded, where we just talked about Frank and his work. Not an issue whatsoever, don't get me wrong.
We will do it again.
Frank. We will do it again. But, this whole series, why we're doing this, is just really to give people a bit more of a connection to us. A lot of people come to the shop to come and have these conversations with us. Yeah. And it's something that we take on very personally. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It makes it more of a social thing. If we were to have served beer, then we'd never get people out the door. It would just be great stories all the time. And I feel like we could really convey some of that to everyone here on YouTube that may not get the chance to come and visit us every day.
We're not the guys for big brands, and we're not the guys to support all the crap you get from big marketing operations and big factories that crank out hundreds of guitars every day, and everybody thinks, oh, you're not a man unless you have this brand. No, we don't go that way. We go by the heart. Smaller manufacturers, weird stuff, rare stuff. I mean, if you see our collection, we've got quite a collection of guitars.
If you've never been to the shop before, by the way, the whole ceiling is covered in curiosities.
Yeah.
And it's something that where Walter grew up as a kid, and I used to frequently visit where we have family, there was a small guitar shop called Wolfer Music.
Yeah.
And he had a small section of his shop, covered in curiosities on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And every time we went in there, the only things we were ever interested in was the stuff on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And he would always give us a grumpy answer like, no, you can't buy my pension.
Yeah.
And we've taken that to heart, and we've carried on the tradition.
Well, we used to sell.
We used to sell off
to start off with,
It's just so hard to replace.
But once you sell it, chances are big you never see it again,
I mean, I keep on drinking that because it's lovely. But
yeah. We
I
have
need
to be careful. Yeah.
Take this for instance. This is absolutely the wackiest of wacky, and I love saying its name, so that's the one reason why I haven't sold it.
Yeah.
So this is the Sunihama Jamma.
You will never forget that name.
You'll never forget it. Sunihama Jamma.
Yeah.
It's a rhythm stick. So
it's actually go back to the shape of the guitar, because some of you will remember what we used to call rifle guitars. Gay did a rifle treble guitar, which most people will remember. This was actually a standard electric guitar with a cut down body, Once you understand that, it's not that interesting anymore. But the shape of the rifle guitar, there's quite a bit to do about it. And this is typically what we would call a rifle guitar. At the end of the day, this is tradition, guitars, tradition. Guns, unfortunately, is a tradition in our rural areas too. Yeah,
Very much you say, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Although this breaks the tradition quite a bit.
This breaks the thing. If you're a drummer and you want to learn to play an instrument, but you don't know how to tune it, and you don't want to be thinking, oh, maybe I need to reset the neck, it's maybe a bit too much relief in here, this is the perfect instrument. And you
don't want to sell this though. So
no, it's not for sale. It's not for sale. Don't think so. And even Phil Collins, although he didn't get on with it for very long, but he did have a go on it. Yeah.
So this is basically a drum machine. It's a MIDI controllable drum machine. So you have, I think it's 8 touch pads at the top here, which are MIDI programmable. They can play whatever you want. And you've got velocity sensitive pads down here, and the control units also have touch sensitive pads. This is Japanese and made in the 80s.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to be an 80s piece. Super rare. I don't think I've ever seen another one, maybe one other. Just funky of funky,
When people come in the shop and see all these rarities on the ceiling, this is one of the things people always ask, what's that? You know? Yeah.
And then I get to say the name.
Yeah.
Sunihama Jamma. So good.
Yeah, at home, you will remember that. Sunihama Jamma. Yeah. And the name kind of, especially if you say it like that.
Yeah.
It
just
kind of already gives it away what it is,
Yeah.
But it's a complex piece of wood with a lot of electronics in it.
A lot of 80s electronics.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it can't be that complicated.
How many gears does it have?
Yeah, you don't get many microchips in the 80s, so I bet if you open up the back, I mean, the back of it is just one big panel. So I wouldn't like to hazard a guess at how many cables are in that thing, but it's not.
No, but you can open it with a knife and fork. Yeah. But
So that's the kind of stuff we love.
Yeah.
The kind of
part of it. Yeah. We're not gun people,
But the stuff we love to sell is stuff where you'd be really super proud. Of that instrument, and to support the people who have made it. Take Davina for example. Family-run company. They're a factory of maybe 30 odd people in Slovakia. They all have a massive passion for instruments, and none of them are just sat there drilling holes all day or sanding all day. They're super interchangeable within the whole workflow. So you obviously get a bit of that. You get batch jobs, but they're a team of luthiers who just love making passion guitars. Guitars that are full of character. And, it may not be a character that you connect with. That's fine. Art is art. You may not like the painting, but someone will. And that's a whole bit that just, a mass manufactured guitar is like the McDonald's cheeseburger. It appeals to the masses. It's very atypical. Which means that it's got less character.
We have to understand the word luthier as well too, because we don't like to use the word luthier, because the word luthier in this country is used by all kind of people who done some kind of weekend course in a controlled environment where they were guided along, and then they think they're kind of a luthier. And as we go up and down the country, we see some people that are real luthiers, but we see also a lot of people that is grandpa shit, and
well, I mean, a technician is a technician. And how many times have we seen a guitar technician who does repairs calling themselves a luthier?
Yeah, but then a technician have to be able to step up to the luthier job over and over with any.
This is true.
I'm
a technician myself. I'm not a luthier. I don't make acoustic guitars. I fix them.
But you have to be able to fix them up to the standard.
Oh yeah, but there's
Up to luthier.
What I'm saying is there's a lot of techs out there who don't quite do that and still call themselves the luthier tag.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is.
Yeah. And don't go back to companies who actually make this stuff. Most companies, a lot of those people are not even interested in guitars. They don't play guitars. It's the hole drilling guy and the sanding guy and the polishing guy and the paint spraying guy. Yeah. Just like you go to a car factory, you know, so most people buy guitars. There was never a luthier inside, you know. Yeah. We like to deal with the guitars that are built by people who can respectively use the term luthier. Yeah.
We've still got a bit for everyone. So I mean, if you want your mass-produced £100 acoustic guitar, you know, we'll have at least one or two in stock at any one time. Yeah. But it's really an avenue. You know, you can't alienate the beginners. We all have to start somewhere. And you know, it's great to see someone who's, you know, a young person come in, buy their first £100 guitar, and then a few years down the line, you know, you see a really big transformation in their playing, and they come in for the next one.
It's a beautiful thing, yeah.
Oh, it's
especially when you see youngsters, kids come in and then they become teenagers, and then you see them play and think, wow, you know, I was glad I sold the first guitar, you know.
Sometimes I get a bit annoyed because they come back in and they're better than me.
Yeah,
that's just the ego talking.
Yeah, and then one day they get maybe to a stage where they say, well, £3,500, that is kind of not out of scope, and understand why you would want to do that, you know. Yeah.
Well, I was talking with Adrian Lucas, who makes AJ Lucas guitars. That was at the Birmingham Guitar Show a few weeks ago, and he's a real artist. You know, he builds one instrument, one acoustic guitar at a time. Yeah. So he could really feel the woods.
Yeah. Most luthiers build two at a time.
Or small batches. You know, some build even more. But he's one at a time. Yeah. With kind of more unique wood choices. Yeah. So he had an acoustic guitar which I tried with a U top. Yeah. And absolutely beautiful. I mean, you could tell it's handmade, and you could feel it's handmade. But I do not mind that. The whole thing sang. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And not just the tonally. Yeah. You know, the Takamine stand was right next door, and someone was hammering out some chords on the Takamine. And this was like 4 or 5 meters away, and the whole guitar was vibrating. Yeah. So tonally, awesome. Yeah. But just the character of it, being able to see and feel the handmadeness. Yeah. You know, it just brings it to a whole other level, even if there are small imperfections. Yeah. I mean, this is someone who spends hundreds of hours on a guitar. Yeah. And they're absolutely, you know, stunning. Yeah. They're really nice. Yeah. So, hats off to Adrian. I kind of lost the train of thought of where I was going to make my original point now. But, you know, that's a proper passion build. Yeah. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And he was also saying he does repair work. Yeah. £35 an hour. Yeah. And he's one of the cheapest in the area because of that. Yeah. And he makes twice as much money doing repair work. I bought a battery pack so it can fit 2 batteries, but we just totaled them. It's easily done. But going back to Adrian, I mean, he charges £35 for repairs. Yeah. And makes about twice as much money than he does in actually building these guitars. So the time it takes to build one of these guitars start to finish, I mean, would be on basically a minimum wage job. Yeah. And these are guitars that sell for, I think the base price is $3,500. Yeah. And then if you want a more unique wood stock or a slightly, you know, different design, then, I mean, you're going to go up to $4,500 pretty quickly. Yeah. And still paying $4,500 for a handmade guitar, the person who makes it is still on a minimum wage job. Yeah. You know, about £9-10 an hour. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. You may as well go and lay bricks for £17.50, £20 an hour. Yeah. You know, and that's a poorly paid bricklaying job. Yeah. So it's truly a passion project. Yeah. You know, building guitars. Yeah. And when you kind of break it all down break down the labour, the wood costs, because the wood costs are, especially for exotic woods, you know, decent.
Pretty high, huh?
Like a decent Massacre ebony back. Just the back is like £300.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want a nice top, nice sides to match, you could rack up almost £1,000 bill.
Yeah.
Just on the bare materials.
But then compared to the labour charge, because it's mainly the labour that makes the price, you know.
Yeah. And that's why, you know, you see a £2,500 Larrivee, handmade in California. That is still a relatively large factory. They're doing a lot of hand processes, but I mean, comparing them to someone like Frank or Adrian, or, you know, they're way larger, way bigger. So the main cost of that is definitely labour, because it's not, no offence, it's not a bunch of Chinese guys or Mexican guys who can afford a lesser labour fee, although, you know, human rights basis they really shouldn't. But
we used to call it 6-year-old political prisoners.
It's one way of saying it. I don't want to get too dark on this channel, but I mean, a common wage in China would be like £1 an hour.
I think it's less than that.
It's less than that.
In the Tesla factory, it was something like 30 pence an hour.
Imagine working for 30 pence an hour. You know, of course, the economy is different, but
you need to have the heart in it.
But that's why we love to support, you know, someone putting food on their table. You know.
Anyhow, our shop is quite a quirky shop. You know, from all the collectibles to the handmade stuff, and we've got some beautiful stuff coming in this year. Made some more deals with small manufacturers, and it is absolutely amazing stuff.
We're in the talks, talking to several smaller manufacturers, because we really want to hero these products. And I really do feel like we've got the clientele for it. They keep on asking for more, and we don't have a problem selling these pieces either. So I would like to build up a small range of these smaller manufacturers, 1 or 2 pieces of each, so you can come and really try, you know, and feel the different characters, because it's so personal. You know, you're buying
the guitar,
into the guitar, but you're buying into the person who made it, and each person's character really comes through. So Adrian's slightly older, he's, you know, and the guitars are very kind of vintage feeling in a sense, you know, very hand tooled. Whereas you look at someone like I met Jason from JKM Guitars very, very briefly at the end of the Birmingham Guitar Show.
It's a shame that
I wish I'd actually chatted with him a bit more. Hopefully I'll have a call with him later in this week, next week kind of time. But you could tell, you know, he's a younger guy, and he's probably in his early to mid 30s maybe. I don't know, guessing. Sorry, Jason, if that's wrong. But maybe.
Let's give him this one.
Okay, maybe I had too many whiskies by the time.
Go on. Jason, you stay 27.
Oh yeah. That's a common trick of yours, isn't it? 43 for 5 years running. But you could tell it in his guitars. You know, they were more modern. Looking, and I didn't even play a single one of them. I wish I had, but you could tell that
from a distance.
Modern edge, modern lines. Whereas you look at Adrian, and they were completely different beasts altogether. So I feel like having 1 or 2 of different manufacturers, people can really connect with the people that built them. You know.
If you come to a shop, another thing, what always happens, all our customers become kind of friends, you know, it's just one big family. We always have fun, we always crack jokes, and we see so many funny situations. We could write a book about the stuff that happens in the shop.
This is the nice thing. So there's another guitar channel, which I'll do a little shout out to, called Music is Win. He's an American dude. He makes some great guitar content, I can't even remember his name now, but his content's really cool. I've watched quite a lot of it. It's really high quality stuff, you know. But he travelled all around America and asking, you know, different guitar shops to tell their best stories.
Yeah.
And I thought the video was cool, but then I kind of just sat back and started thinking about some of our stories, and I just thought, oh man, we completely blow the water away with half of these guitar shops. Yeah. It was like, you know, guy brought in a guitar for a restring and I found 100 picks in his acoustic guitar or something. It might as well have been a shaker. That's about the best you kind of got. Yeah. But some of ours are like the ukulele story.
That thing was rubbish.
I know it was.
And then they had to repair it for free.
So a woman brought a ukulele into the shop. Absolutely terrible thing. Sorry to the lady if you're watching this, by the way.
Well, it was terrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And what was the original repair? The back?
I don't know. There was something wrong with it. I don't even want to remember what was wrong with it. The best thing was just to give it a good whack and stick it in the bin. Yeah. And actually,
that's what you
did. I gave it a good whack.
On your head?
On my head. So it was after that ready for the bin. But that was not a plan of the dear lady.
You did that right in front of her as well.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. It was a big mistake, because this thing should have just gone straight in the bin. It should have been destroyed, so nobody would, you know, thought, oh, a ukulele, maybe I can learn to play the ukulele, because it would have put anybody off, you know.
It was a terrible
But I just kind of, as a kind of gesture of what I thought about it, whacked myself on the head with it, and it all fell apart.
In about 6 or 7 different pieces.
And then I had to say sorry and
glue the whole thing back together, eh?
Put it all back together for her. Yeah.
For free.
For free. So somewhere on this planet there's still a terrible ukulele that has some massive repairs done. And please, somebody, if you come across it, drive over it or so. Make sure that it's not repairable. Yeah, don't wreck yourself on that with it. Yeah, it didn't hurt. It was that bad, you know. Yeah. But the stories about guys, because this is still quite a male-dominated industry, you know. Although women are more and more part with it, and good so, girls, you know, go for it. You know, you can do the same thing, you know. But yeah, then you get married men come in with their wives, you know, and the wives saying things like, "Oh well, you can't play 2 guitars at one time," you know, or the very dangerous remark, "Be aware of this one. We have the policy, 1 in, 1 out," and then we always say, "Is this about a guitar?"
The guitar or the wife?
Yeah. So this couple comes in, and anyhow, this couple comes in, and she's moaning about having to come into the guitar shop, and he doesn't need another guitar, and this and that. Of course you don't need another guitar. You never need another guitar. You only want another guitar. And he just starts shopping, you know.
Like big time shopping.
Big time. Yeah. He takes a guitar off the rack, puts it straight on the counter, doesn't even try it, you know.
And he's completely silent the whole time.
And he's silent. And C gets louder and louder. And he goes into the amp room, picks up a really nice a super amp, I think he picked up.
Yeah, it's like £1,000 valve amp. Yeah.
Puts it onto the counter, gets some more accessories. Nothing is cheap.
Like the best strap that we have, like the best case that we have, the best cables.
He really goes to town there, you know. Yeah. And she gets so loud, it's just unbelievable. She really blows her top, you know. And he just cracks on and sticks his card in the machine, and there they go, you know, you could hear them on the other end of town, you know. We had a good laugh, you know, This kind of situation is just absolutely beautiful, you know.
Normally we try and talk them around, or like, you know, they go off to an antique shop and do their own shopping. But this guy was deadly silent. I think the only thing he said was, write this up.
Yeah.
We just stood there writing a receipt.
Yeah.
Because this woman started going at us and passed the card machine over.
Yeah.
Bam, sale.
Yeah. This kid was very straight and crack on with the job.
Things can only go up from here. Sure. Unless we keep on drinking this Dartmoor Whisky.
Yeah. This is the dangerous side of it.
Yeah.
If we were willing on, blame it on the whiskey, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goddamn Frank. Making too fine a whiskey.
Yeah, Frank Mahari. Yeah. Anyhow, that was a bit the story about the guy who kept on buying and his wife who kept more and more angry.
Yeah, that was quite a fun story. I mean, you really to have the full experience. You had to be there because it was. It was quite something. I'm not sure if we've ever seen that guy back again.
No. He was banned from the shop. But do you remember there was another similar story about a father and a little girl coming to the shop? Yeah,
she was about 5 or 6 or something, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was a little girl. Yeah,
young girl. Yeah.
Maybe less than that, but she was quite clued in, you know.
Yeah, very much.
What was happening? Yeah.
Yeah, this gentleman wanted to buy a guitar, didn't he? So he was looking around and he picked something that was quite expensive. Not breaking the bank, but it wasn't.
It was breaking his bank.
It was breaking his bank. Yeah. And what did the little girl say?
Something like at the end of it, Daddy, you're gonna be in so much trouble. The little sweetheart, she got all sussed out, you know. See, women, even that age, you know.
Oh yeah,
But that was a sweet story.
Yeah, she was sweet.
She was a sweetheart. And she knew the story. What was going to happen next when he was going to come home?
Yeah, there'd be some explaining to do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would have visited Cmar, our local ice cream parlour, to help shut the little girl up. I'll buy some ice cream if you just
keep it quiet. Don't tell Mummy.
Tell her I got this one from a friend.
Yeah. That's how it goes, you know. Yeah. And with the repair sections.
I mean, we see so many funny repairs, don't we? And absolutely ridiculous repairs.
Yeah.
But there is one story which kind of takes the cake, isn't there?
Yeah. Now there are so many stories take the cake, but there was also this beautiful story about this chap who did a gig, had this beautiful handmade guitar. He put it on the back, landed against the back of his car. Then forgot about it. Now reversed over it.
It wasn't a case, but the case wasn't.
It was not really. It was not Audi proof. It was a handmade English guitar, but it wasn't up to German standards. Yeah. Or I remember this woman came in with a rubbish guitar that needed a lot of work, and I dealt with her at the time, and I told her to bin it. There was no point in starting to work on like a guitar you could replace for 80 quid, and you needed to do £150 worth of work on it. So she left with the guitar. What did she do with the guitar? You remember this? It was the skip story.
Ah, yeah. There was a skip outside our local spa shop just literally around the corner to us. They were doing some building work, weren't they, or something like that. So she just decided, oh, well, chuck it in the skip.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened to the guitar next?
We saw it about 3 times that day with different people. Can you repair this? Oh, look, go and chuck it back in the bloody skip. Can you repair this? Ah!
The last one, just really whack it really hard on the side of the skip before you throw it in there. Yeah. That was quite funny story too, you know. Yeah.
Well, that's the classic joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you tune a banjo?
Yeah.
Depends on how hard you throw it. Even better, it depends on how hard you throw it against the side of the skip.
Yeah. Well, you throw it in the skip and hit the accordion. Yeah. But many beautiful stories. People come into our shop, not because they need something, just to say hello, have a laugh, you know.
Yeah.
If we were to sell beer, everybody goes out pissed. Yeah.
It's a surprise people don't bring sleeping bags.
Yeah.
I bet
they would.
They would.
If we give them the chance, they would.
Yeah. We've talked past a bit of a black sheep in this the whole time, though, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's something that fell over a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Something we got banned from
Facebook. Yeah. Sorry, Facebook gods. But yeah, it's this beast. So we talked about rifle guitars earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Now this is one of the original rifle guitars.
Yeah.
And I'll just bring it up to the camera because I've got to show you. It's got a working trigger. That is the pickup selector, of course. The volume control is the sights. And on the headstock, it's got an inlaid silver bullet.
Yeah.
So vampires beware, because we have something that's going to knock your socks off.
Yeah. You need to restring it with bullet strings, of course.
Yeah.
No
can't give you a tonal sample because we don't have the ammunition.
Yeah, and everybody needs to have ear defenders because you need that for this piece. It's of course American, and everybody's got one under their pillow, you know.
That would be a hard pillow.
Yeah. And it is ideal for self-defense, you know. You can really whack somebody with it. It is very rare piece. It might not be everybody's taste. It's not entirely our taste, but it's so rare, and it's well used.
It's got all the right signs of age, like all the corners are rubbed off. And it just looks, looks the part as well.
Yeah.
So this is made by a company called Parlour, small manufacturer in America. They actually make like high-end audio gear these days. I think it's the same company. I'm not quite sure, but I mean, Parlour rifle guitar, one of the originals.
Yeah.
And to be honest, way better than the K, because you see the K.
The K is just a bit of a.
Yeah, the K rifle guitar is one of the most known kind of rifle guitar models.
Yeah.
This is a rifle guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, it is built to look and be like a rifle.
Yeah. More like a machine gun.
More like a machine gun. Yeah. This is again part of our private collection that you find on the ceiling.
Yeah.
One of our many curiosities, and it even comes in a rifle case.
Yeah.
There's not a guitar case that will fit it, so it needs to go in a rifle case, which I just think is awesome.
So if you're like a hard rock band, heavy metal, you need a license to thrill, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That was a terrible joke, by the way. Full of it.
Yeah. I don't think if you want a guitar, this is kind of the best guitar to go for. But
I don't know why.
It wouldn't be so anyhow. It's part of our private collection.
Oh, to be honest, it's a pretty god-awful guitar, I think. And I don't know why, but someone's fitted bronze wound strings to it. I never noticed that.
Yeah.
We just hung it straight on the ceiling. Why put bronze wound strings on an electric guitar? I guess maybe because they look funky against the black. But
or you didn't know any better. Had a set lying about and stick those on there.
Yeah.
But it's you know, we said it's not very good as a guitar, but we never bothered playing it. But I mean, the hardware is really not bad hardware. You know, it comes with Grover tuners and things, so it's meant to be.
It's meant to be a working guitar. Yeah. But you can't fit it on a stand, and you can't fit it on a sofa. Stay.
So if you come into our shop, this is the first thing staring in your face, you know. So at least you know not to mess about with us. We're serious guys, you know.
This is what happens if you have a complaint or a refund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see the wrong end of this piece.
We've also got a glass window in the floor.
Yeah.
So there's a river that runs under the shop, little Ashburn Brook. And if you've got a complaint, we'll pull the lever. Yeah. Yeah, we'll dunk you.
Yeah, complaints, refunds, underneath that. Yeah.
You can swim with the fishes.
Yeah. So, that's actually back to the rival guitar where we started on earlier, you know, that design. And this is a bit more extreme. I bet you the Russians will give good dollar for it. Yeah, they will give good dollar for it, because that's worth more money than
Don't go there. I can see where you're going. Don't go there.
But from funny stories in the shop to handmade guitars to ridiculous guitars, and we will do more episodes about, you know, our own collection, because we got some amazing stuff in the collection, stuff you've never seen before, never heard of, but you could fill a whole podcast just talking about one thing, you know.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And little things like this, you know.
Little antiques,
here actually for evaluation. We're looking it over and checking out the quality. It's a lovely little piece. It's a 19th century parlour guitar.
Yeah.
So we will be doing a more kind of historic series breakdown in future, and you'll probably see a lot more 19th century parlour guitars. It's something that we're both very fond of.
Yeah.
I've been collecting. They're ladies' guitars, but they've got bags and bags of character, and it's a good way to find Brazilian rosewood.
Yeah.
So we've been collecting them for many years.
Yeah.
And this is actually not one of our own. It's a customer's that's just come in. Yeah. So we are valuing it and need to give her a bit of an idea of what it will be worth.
Yeah.
But these are treasured pieces, you know, and pieces that have, you know, been stuck together for over 100 years.
Yeah.
You know? Which is quite an achievement.
Yeah.
You know?
But a decent guitar should hold together for 100 years, no problem.
Yeah.
If it's glued together well, no problem. Yeah. And maybe it needs some repairs, but you know, don't we all?
Yeah, especially when we're 100 years old. It's kind of another reason why, you know, we feel less passionate about selling the mass-produced stuff, you know, because you see them back, you know, a few years later where they're all kind of falling apart. Well, one of our sales reps actually has an amazing story.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Prince guitars.
Lovely. There's this badge company of a brand of guitar. You can't find them these days, but you might be able to find maybe one second-hand if you're very lucky.
Actually, we've got one lying around, but it's not in this room, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But we have one. It's presumably fallen apart as well. But
it's a brand called Prince, and it was just a slap-on badge job acoustic guitar.
Yeah, Chinese.
Similar to a Falcon, if you see Falcon guitars these days. You know, less than £100. And there was this retailer, I think he was in the UK, that bought into these big time. Like,
he bought 2 containers full.
Yeah, you're talking like 5,000 pieces per container, like 10,000 of them. And he bought them at a guitar show, from what I remember.
Yeah.
And he saw this contact at the guitar show, he successfully made the sale, so he got 2 containers shipped from the factory over to the UK. Then the next year he was at the same guitar show.
No.
No?
No, the Chinese manufacturer sent a rep over to the UK.
Oh, was that how it happened? I was pretty certain it was from a guitar show.
Yeah. And he came to visit this trader and he said, "Oh, you know, the Prince guitars. Do you want any more Prince guitars?"
Bearing in mind, he placed like an order of about 10,000 of them the year previous.
And this gentleman said, "Well, I don't need any more Prince guitars because I still have a full container left." And the Chinese guy fell nearly over and he said, "They will fall apart." If you have one of those, then you no doubt heard this strange bang in the night.
But it's probably quite a rare piece by now because they will fall apart.
Yeah. And the story about Cmar.
Oh yeah.
Have you come across Cmar guitars? They're actually getting valuable now.
Is it CEMAR?
No, CMAR.
CMAR.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Cmar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was a Dutch fellow who went to China to set up a line of guitars. And the Chinese were making those guitars, the electric guitars. If you find them now, generally they're getting more and more bought up by collectors because they're still kind of cheap to buy into. They were never great guitars, just like, you know, your cheap knockoffs, you know.
LP styles,
Straps,
mainly, S-types, T-types.
Yeah. And when they were building them, the Chinese asked him what branding he wanted on the top. And the gentleman answered, "Cmar." But it's in Dutch. You look at it, you know.
Yeah, you figure it out.
Yeah, you figure it out. So, and it's spelled Z-I-E, and a mar is the separate word, is W-M-A-A-R. Cmar. Yeah, C is your eyes, and Mar is you sort it out.
Yeah.
And what's the brand?
Well, he ended up getting a massive shipment, again several containers, with the headstock that said Cmar. You just can't make this shit up, can you?
That was a brilliant story. Yeah.
So now there's a brand out there called Cmar, which is a literal translation of "you figure it out," which is great because they were beginners guitars as well. So it's like, here you go, you figure it out.
It's a brand. They were not very good guitars, but it's there is a rarity to them. Yeah. And now you see them every now and again go on collectors' auctions, and they might fetch like £300 a piece, but it's more
than what they originally sold for.
Than what the original sold for. So, if you're a clever collector, you pick up a few of those.
But it's also such a nice story that goes along with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know the translation and the story, it just makes it such a fun thing to have in a collection.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really a player, but if you're a collector.
But I don't think many collectors are aware of the story, because this was a story that went around the industry in Holland, you know, but we're talking now about guitars that were imported into the UK, so it's a different story altogether, But, there are lots of stories like this, you know.
Yeah.
And if you know the market, you come across this stuff,
And this is part of the reason why we're doing these kind of more long-form podcasty videos. I know we're having some teething issues with the equipment, we'll sort that out. But
We'll smash it up afterwards.
Yeah, we'll throw this camera in.
Yes. We'll use it for target practice.
But I feel like a lot of these kind of go unheard. These stories,
Yeah.
and some of them are so nice. And yeah, we might get into a little bit of trouble from some people, you know. Sorry to the ukulele woman again for smashing the uke on our heads or your head.
We never did anything to upset anybody.
No, that's not
really. No,
that's not our intention.
No.
We're here for you know, spreading our passion, having a laugh, having a bit of fun, drinking some good whiskey. Thank you again to Dartmoor Whisky for producing a fine bottle.
Absolutely.
We're not that far down, you know.
No, we're trying to behave.
We're trying to behave.
And being seen as respectable members of society.
Drink responsibly.
Absolutely. But enjoy it.
Yeah. And I think these are quite fun. You know, they've got some legs in the future. So please, like, if you're enjoying this and you've gotten this far, thank you so much. Leave like a little message in the comments if you want us to feature anything in future on these. But yeah, I think we best wrap it up really, because it's about 50 minutes and we've had about 3 camera failures, so we're doing well.
Okay, well, sign up.
Yeah.
And one thing, everybody who's been watching this, one thing, never ever forget. Sunihama Jamma.
On 3. 1, 2. Sunihama Jamma.
There we are.
See you next time. Like and subscribe.